Hello everyone, my name's Dave and I'm the learning officer at Newcastle Castle, and since you're all stuck inside and I'm stuck inside, we thought that we'd bring a bit of the Middle Ages, the medieval period, to you in your front rooms, since you can't come out and visit us at the castle at the moment. So this is the first of our little history lessons from my living room. This is all the stuff I normally have in my living room. And this is really for kids at school who are in Key Stage 1 and 2, but actually anyone can join us and enjoy themselves. And I'm going to keep this very short. These are going to be little short lessons, and then I'm going to give you something that you can do in your own home as well. So for this one, really all you're going to need a little bit later on, or even after we've finished, is something to serve some drinks in for people in your household. So you're going to need a nice goblet and a plate. Obviously, being a castle learning officer, I've got nice fancy medieval goblets and plates here all around the house, but you don't need anything as fancy as that. I would get a plastic plate, can be something like that, doesn't have to have a mermaid on, and just a plastic glass. And it doesn't have to be a plastic wine glass either, it can be any kind of plastic cup or glass can use for this, all right? So, knights. That's what we're here to talk about today, and I'm pretty sure all of you know what a knight is, all right? Everyone's seen knights before in their shining armour, riding on their horses, usually fighting dragons. Knights in the real medieval times didn't do too much dragon fighting, although they did like to listen to stories about it. But what I'm going to talk about today is just about how you become a knight. Now, we do a lesson at the castle called Knight School. But the truth is, there really was no school in medieval times. So you didn't have to go to school, kind of like now. What you did instead was when you were young, you would go off and you would become an apprentice, where you'd get trained by somebody who already did a job in how to do that job. Very simple. So if you were going to become a blacksmith and use a hammer and a forge to make horseshoes and iron tools, you would go and learn from someone who was already a blacksmith. And being a knight worked pretty much the same way. Now, to be a knight, you usually had to come from a pretty rich family. And if you did, then when you were about 7 years old, you would be sent away from home to become an apprentice knight. They were called pages. And here is our page at about age 7. So you would go off to live in a castle owned by a wealthy lord, where you would be a kind of servant. And you would learn all the basic things about how to be a knight. Very importantly, this involved learning good manners. Now, here's definitely something that I'm sure any parents would be very happy for you to try out at home, because pages were expected to be seen but not heard, and to greet everyone in the castle terribly respectfully. So here's a little something for you to practice. I'm going to teach you how to do a courtly bow, which is how you would greet somebody who was more important than you, which, if you were a servant in the castle, let's face it, was almost everyone. So, if I come out here, now, I'm standing here, I'm being nice and quiet. Well, I'm not being nice and quiet because I have to talk to do these lessons, but you can imagine that I'm being nice and quiet and seen and not heard. Now, to bow when somebody comes in, you put one foot in front of the other like this, and then you need to bend your back leg and kind of stick your bum out to bend over to do the bow. And don't forget to take your hat off when you do it. It's very impolite to bow to somebody with your hat on. So you would take your hat off like this, and bow nice and low. So there we go, you can give that a try. Now, if it doesn't hurt your legs, you're not doing it right. Okay, it does actually put quite a lot of strain on your poor old back leg. But you bow like this when somebody more important enters the room. And you greet them by calling them my lord or my lady. This was very important to becoming a knight, because knights were supposed to be gentlemen. This is where we actually get the word from, and it comes from medieval times and knights. Now, as you can see, my little page there, one of the jobs that pages had was to serve people at dinner as well. If you want to really go all out tonight, when you have your dinner around the table, you might decide to serve everyone their food. You could even cut it up for them into small pieces, which is something that pages used to do. But importantly, they would also serve as cup bearers. So they would bear the drinks to their lords and ladies. You'd have to be very careful to do this. And you normally carry it on a tray like this to stop you dropping it. There we are. My camera lady has had her wine. Is that to your liking, madam?
Mmm.
So this kind of thing was very important for knights in medieval times. After all, knights served the king and rich, important lords and ladies. You couldn't just go around spilling their wine everywhere and just serving things however you wanted. You had to do things properly. Of course, pages had lots of other jobs as well. They worked as grooms, looking after the horses. They learned how to read and write, and they learned how to fight, usually, when they were still quite young, with wooden swords and shields. I don't recommend trying that around your living room. You need a little bit more space for that, and maybe some armour to protect you if you're going to get bashed around with wooden swords and shields. That said, one medieval writer did say that if a boy has not felt his bones break and his teeth knocked out and his blood flow before he is 10 years old, then he will never be of any use for anything. So there you are. You can be glad that you live now and not in medieval times. So have a try today, practicing all of your medieval manners. Practice becoming good courtly folk who can serve at a royal feast. And tomorrow we're going to have a bit more of a look at squires who served knights as apprentices and how you actually go about being knighted and the armour that knights would use. That's going to come tomorrow, and tomorrow you're also going to need, for some of these activities, some card, some paper, some glue, some sticky tape, some scissors, and some stuff for colouring in as well. And I'm hoping that we will have a nice shield design up on our website by then as well that you can download, which you'll use tomorrow. That's my cat. That's Bishop, by the way, so you can maybe see him again tomorrow as well, because he's always very keen to help me out. So there you are. Thank you all very much. I hope you've enjoyed our first little look at the lives of knights in medieval castles. And I will see you again tomorrow at 12 o'clock for the second lesson. Thank you.